We've all had drama, and the guys say that we make all the drama. I don't think so. However, I've got my friend Dawn Thompson here. She is a success coach. She works with a lot of families, young people, and also corporate America to help them connect with the different generations and what they need to do to learn how to communicate. So, Dawn, welcome to News Ladies.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Nice to see you. As a news lady, you really are one because you're a good writer, and you've written a great book called Drama Detox. And when I read this book, I thought, I've heard these nuggets before, but you put all of them in such a good framework. So, first of all, welcome to the show, and tell us the whole essence of Drama Detox. Oh my God. Sorry, was I?
You're so funny. This is fantastic. Well, you know what? I wrote Drama Detox for the purpose of my clients. It wasn't even meant to be a book. I wrote it because my clients would, contact me back again and say, hey, could you write down what we discussed? And so then it turned into this formatting of like, fine, if I put it all on paper and go to chapter 4, go to chapter 10, and read it. But at the heart of it, it's really the culmination of all my coaching together in one book. And what we talk about there is that, most people create drama on their own. And they're like, I can't deal with the drama anymore. I'm just done. I've had it with all this drama. But they're creating it. They've made it all on their own. And they put all, so you were referring to the stew. They make their own pot of stew and they pour all this stuff in. They put the juicy ingredients in it. And then when all of a sudden it stops boiling, then they're like, wow, well, I need to talk to someone, or I haven't heard from, and they send a text or a phone call or a snide comment to someone, and thus erupts more of the drama in their life. They're stirring up that pot all on their own. And so when people come to me and say, I don't want the drama anymore, well, you have to detox your drama.
I have to say, I used to love dramas too, especially when I was in the newsroom. Oh, the gossip.
Right.
That person, they said
you believe
what?
It? Oh.
But it made me feel kind of alive. Then I got pooped out in the 90s, and I did start saying, I don't want any more of this drama because I felt a little infected by it. It started feeling icky.
Right.
It wasn't exciting and fun anymore. So that really kind of begins this detox piece.
Right.
So describe that and how you help people get to that point when the drama really starts taking over and becoming destructive.
When the drama takes over, you have this almost overwhelming feeling, basically, of there's so much going on in your life. And most people, I'm finding across the board, we don't want to take responsibility for our lives. Most people, when we have experiences in our lives and we don't like it, it's a reflection of ourselves. What we don't like, it's staring at us in the face, but we want to blame. So I tell people, go ahead and judge the person you don't like. Judge that person. Say, what don't you like about them? And then we turn it around and realize, oh, that's what I don't like about myself. And thus the healing can begin, and thus the detoxing of that own personal energy. So we have a hard time going within. Thus, you have to start basically detoxing the system, detoxing your thoughts. And we go in and detox your thoughts. And so we start creating, one of the problems most people focus, I find that they're not happy, and it's because they're focused on everything outside of them. And if you can start living from the inside out, that's when you start having this big epiphany about who I am, what I want. And so we have to focus on, what do you want? What is the true reason you get up every day?
And what is and how do you focus inside and determine what you need, especially if you've been buried in all the outside drama?
Well, I call it the wow. And there's a 3-step process that I have at the end of the book that talks about the I deserve it check. You have to deserve, because we get what we feel we deserve. And people tell me, well, I deserve more. Well, do you have it? No. Well, then you don't feel like you deserve it. Because if you really felt that you deserved it, you'd have it. So we have to check ourselves every day saying, what do I really feel like I deserve? Do I deserve grand, the ability to take care of my children, or do I deserve financial, or whatever it is they're looking for? They don't have it, and that's because they don't feel they deserve it. So we go in and we make this check. How do I know what I want to be, or why am I getting up every day? You have to pick your wow, and I call it your wow, which is WAW, your what and why. And when you pick that what and why, you have to figure out why are you here? What do you want and why? And the why is more important, because why you're doing something is a different conversation, saying, all right, I get up every day because I'm going to be a compassionate person. Why? Because it will make people have a better life, a better day that day. Well, you can't then have a conversation with your child yelling at you and say, I'm going to be a compassion. That is my wow. That is my purpose. And then yell back at them. You have to respond with that yelling conversation with compassion. And it's a whole different angle. So now you're basically living that purpose of compassion. And that's just a word. Mine is to help people raise their self-worth. And so I can't teach self-worth if I don't have it myself, right? And so that's from the within. I have to be that within in order to teach that on the outside.
I feel like there is so much negative self-talk, and I see it with a lot of young people today, the self-criticism, and women out there, and women, I'm talking to all of you of all ages. We are so hard on ourselves. I mean,
So true.
seriously, I used to be so self-critical.
Yep.
I've gotten better with age and time and understanding, but I think the negative self-talk can just absolutely wipe out your talent and your contribution. How do you really break that intrinsic voice that I think women especially have?
It is. And that's a piece also in my book. We talk about the ticking clocks, these ticks in our head. And it's really the subconscious. And so I teach you how to access that subconscious, because we've got to go within and listen to that quiet, the voice that's talking to you all the time. And like you said, that self-talk, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough. And that voice, if most of us were friends with that person in real life, you would not be friends with them after they talk to you the way you talk to yourself. And it's sad because we accept it, but we wouldn't accept it from other people. And so this goes back to what I just said. We don't do well at judging ourselves. We're very hard, we're very critical, and we don't want to go within and see the truth.
And we're women, so we're very critical of others, and we have high expectations. And I've heard men say, women, you're really getting a bit demanding. You are high maintenance, and your expectations are too high. Quit trying so hard to be perfect. Do you hear that?
Yes. And I
from a lot of your
tell people,
clients?
You're perfect just the way you are. When you quit trying to express to the outside in, as I said, and try to prove to everyone else and all your friends, that's the drama, telling them how it's going to be and proving how perfect you are and how lovely you are and how smart you are and how successful you are. And just from the inside out saying, I'm going to do this today because I know this proposal or this contract or this peanut butter sandwich for my daughter is where I'm supposed to be right now. That's from the inside out. But when we're living to try and prove that, I have the best meals for my children because look, everyone, don't you think I'm a great mom? That's the outside in. And really, it's going to do you no good because you're perfect just the way you are, making whatever you're going to make or doing whatever you're going to do in that moment.
And yet in our society, we sure honor those perfect people. I watch TV and I look at that body fat.
It looks perfect, but it's not. And that's my point.
It's
if you were
fakey.
to have
It's
that
fakey.
conversation with that person, you would know they're not perfect. And everyone, a lot of times I get this, like, how do I know I'm doing the right thing? How do I know I'm in the right place, Dawn? Because that's exactly where you're sitting right now at this time. And when you're supposed to be somewhere else, it'll happen. And people have a hard time with the energy flow. With wherever you're meant to be, it happens on its own. You don't need to push the river. The river will just flow on its own. But we fight that system, and we fight trying to figure out how to move forward instead of just going, just be within. Let the energy, who you are in that moment, happen and come to the surface, and then let it be. It's hard. It's a very hard skill to master, but it's definitely doable. And I'm watching it in my clients. And it's interesting, like you said, on the age groups, the younger ones jump on it pretty quick because they're like, just say I like myself. Tell me I deserve it. Yes, that's it. They're like, okay.
And let me take a picture. Or 20.
Exactly.
I love myself. I am wonderful.
Exactly. So I can't blame them. At least they listen. The adults don't want to hear it. They want to, but they really struggle with that. Now, again, this all comes from childhood and different experiences we've had, but I'm not a coach that says, go blame my mom, or, it was so-and-so's fault. We have to get over this whole self-pity party that everybody's been on for a while. We were on this whole psychological counseling craze for a while. It's where life coaching kicked in, and I get it. But now we've got to step up and take responsibility and say, you know what? I've got to get over it, and I've got to stop creating this world. I created the world I'm in. Now I get to change it or stay.
All
and
right.
I tell people, stay if you'd like. It's up to you.